he's controller of the city, and he's doing a Greek heritage and culture honoree session.
Wonderful.
And there's 3 honorees. One of them is Dina Rallis, who really ran the parade. And the other one is Zoe Koutsopakis. She's with Marathon Meg. And then there's this couple that are very good entrepreneurs. Oh, up there. So, and we have a dance performance here.
A dance performance?
Yeah, it looks like. Wonderful. So you have to get up. And this is a beautiful old surrogate court building. It's like enormous. It looks like a fortress. It's really quite heavy and very large. The old kind of building you see in New York.
The regular customers.
Yes. That's us, Mother.
And the priest is there, you know.
Do you know him?
That's us. She's not here, Robert.
He's our archbishop.
Oh, he's the archbishop.
Robert, go say hello. You see him? No, we don't. Only twice. They're going through security now, so... Yep, it's going to take a while. Once they come, we'll introduce ourselves. Good. Good. Looking forward to... It's going to start in 2 minutes.
He's talking.
Why don't we go up and tell him? Maybe the priest will go tell him.
Long trip home.
Okay.
I know, it's starting to rain. Let's get the priest to talk about his moral obligation.
I'm going to go up and ask him when this is going to
I got your back.
Thank you. Thank you.
What did you learn?
Nothing. He doesn't know anything.
You don't know what it's going to
Can
start?
you ask?
We usually go quick.
What did they tell you?
They're coming right now. They're going through security.
What did they tell you?
She said that he's going to start in a couple of minutes.
Oh.
Okay, it's starting right now. Hello, John. Hello, Mr. Comptroller. Here we go, right now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Calispera.
Yeah. Calispera. Right. He's one of us. Yay.
I want to be totally honest. I cannot claim to be Greek American. I'm proud to be Asian American. I've been Asian my whole life. Of course, it's an incredible treat. This is a perk of office to have the opportunity to hold this kind of celebration. Tonight we celebrate Greek culture and heritage, one of the most important contributions to New York and indeed America. I want to start off, before we get any further, by calling up somebody who we're very honored to have tonight, the very Reverend Eugene N. Papas. From the Three Hierarchs Greek Orthodox Church in Brooklyn, Father Papas Alice has graciously agreed to deliver the invocation for tonight's special event. Father Papas, thank you for joining us.
I stand here representing His Eminence Archbishop Demetrios, who could not attend this event this evening, but extends his congratulations to the honorees, his love and admiration to the comptroller, and I likewise would like to express my thanks to this wonderful august assembly today, and to let the comptroller know, as proud as he is of being Chinese, we are just as proud of being Greek. And in fact, I had the occasion to, as many of you know, live in Asia for 5 years. So I'm going to practice some of my Mandarin on you by simply saying, John Liu san, she she, kong ha fa shoi, which essentially means thank you and may you have a good year. It may not be good Mandarin, but it was Mandarin. And my last comment before we begin this wonderful event is that last night, listening on Cosmos FM, we had a wonderful rapport with a writer and film director who said that the now famous, and sometimes infamous, My Big Fat Greek Wedding had received great acclaim by ethnics in America. Do you know which ethnic group claimed the film to be a shadowing of their own heritage? The Chinese community. The Chinese said, we live like the Greeks, we think like the Greeks, and we have the same problems the Greeks have. So it could have been my big fat Chinese wedding as well. Let us pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty God, we ask your blessing upon this great nation. Bless our President, our Congress, our armed forces here and everywhere. Bless this great city, its mayoralty, the comptroller who has invited us to this wonderful venue. Bless the honorees, those whom they love and those who love them. Bless all of us who are here gathered as a tribute not so much to the past, but to the present and the future of our presence in this great nation and this noble republic. For this, O Lord, we offer you grace and thanks and worship as we call upon your holy name and we sing the triumphant hymn of the season. Would you please join me? Christos
Thank you so much, Father Papas. Thank you. And now we will continue. Katia Zalas, President and founder of the Hellenic Music Foundation, and she'll be accompanied by Constantine Gadgis, the music director of the Hellenic Music Foundation. so much. That was and constantly engages of the Hellenic Music Foundation. Wonderful performances of the two national anthems, the Greek and the American. And once again, I would really like to thank Father Papas for the invocation and for the greetings from Archbishop Demetrios. This past weekend, I had the real privilege and honor of marching alongside Archbishop Demetrios up Fifth Avenue in celebration of Greek Pride right here in New York.
Greek Pride.
Yay, Greek Pride.
No better place to do it right here in New York than on Fifth Avenue. And I really want to thank all of you for joining us tonight. It is a very special event. And although this is a celebration of Greek culture and heritage, as you can see, we have New Yorkers who, many of whom are Greek Americans right here in this room. Many New Yorkers who are not Greek Americans, and yet constantly bringing people together and learning, allowing people to both celebrate their own culture and heritage, and at the same time allowing other fellow New Yorkers to learn about our Greek culture and heritage. And that's exactly what tonight's event is all about. I have, tonight is 111 days as New York City comptroller. Madam Ambassador from Cyprus that she introduced herself and said she's been there for 5 months. I told her she had a little bit of time on me. But it's great to see everybody. I really want to express how proud I am that we come together tonight to celebrate the wonderful contributions that the Greek American community has made here in New York City and indeed all throughout the country. We also come together to celebrate our thanks for the rich heritage and wisdom that our Greek forebears left with us to this day, and we are still deeply inspired by the philosophers like Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and we are also deeply...
Okay, now she gets her 2 minutes. What do you think?
Reverend Father Eugene, Honorable Comptroller of New York City, John Liu, Honorable Consul General of Greece, Ambassador Mrs. Baldan, Consul General of Cyprus, Ms. Sofianou, distinguished guests and friends, I'm most humbled and honored for this award tonight. I thank our Comptroller and his committee.
Here we go.
it. We're definitely Greek here.
Yeah.
Which one is she again? That's her over there? In the front. All right, you go, girl.
Μια φουντώση, μια φλόγα, έχω μέσα στην καρδιά. Λες και μαγιά μου έχεις κάνει, Φράγκο Σιριανή γλυκιά. Λες και μαγιά μου έχεις κάνει, Φράγκο
first president of Broadway Merchants and Professional Association, and the former president of the St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church in Flushing. Dino has served the Greek American community and contributed greatly in areas such as business, education, and medicine. And for the past 20 years, he's been directing scholarships to outstanding students at the Greek Afternoon School of St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church. He supported many crucial projects in the U.S. and also in his birthplace of Niceros. Mr. Rallis has also donated to help build the first medical clinic in the island of Niceros. And before I was elected to the city comptroller,
αλλά δεν είναι κατάλληλο.
Come back to me. Ella, Ella, come back, come back.
A successful banker, a generous humanitarian, and an enthusiastic community leader. Zoe serves as Senior Vice President and Regional Manager at Marathon Bank for Brooklyn and Staten Island. She's a member of many organizations, including the Federation of Hellenic Societies of New York, philanthropic associations, Bay Ridge Development Corp., and Bay Ridge Fifth Avenue Business Improvement District. Zoe has gained the respect and admiration of the Greek American community at large being honored by government officials from Greece and the United States, such as the Council of Hellenes Abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, we're really happy. Dear Zoe Koutsopakis.
Very poison. What was that, Robert?
Watching your campaign, and it wasn't an easy one, and I'm so proud of you. I cannot believe I'm here today because I was stuck in traffic since 3:15 p.m. and I thought I would never make it. It's a privilege and it's an honor for me to be here. I see my dear friend, Council General of Greece, Mrs. Baltas, and the distinguished guest. For 30 years, I'm in the public eye, and my dear friend, Mrs. Sofianou, the Council General of Cyprus. For 30 years, next to the Homogenia and also to the Greek American community, and I must tell you, it's not an easy task, but your love and support makes me who I am and gives me strength to continue what I love to do best, to service all of you. And I will always be here, and I hope God gives me the strength to continue to help and support what I love the most, to promote the Greek culture, to help any way possible that I can, because that's what we're here for. Mr. Liu, it's a privilege to be among two beautiful people that I dearly love. And I have worked many years with Dino Morales in the Federation of Hellenic Societies and the Greek Parade.
Can you tell me the name, what the words were saying in that beautiful song?
Yeah, Yiddish, meaning come back or turn around, come back. Yiddish, Ella means come. Here she is, she's right back here.
Hello, Katya. I just want to thank you for your song. I was so happy that the person was late because that last song was so beautiful.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it.
Can you talk about what it meant?
Oh, that song was, it said Yirise. Se perimeno Yirise means come back. I'm waiting for you, come back. You're my young, beautiful girl. Come. Ella. Oh, that's what it's come back to me.
That was my high point of the evening. It was so beautiful.
Really? You liked that?
Yes. So I'm going to put it up on YouTube and you can find your name. Just Google it. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Card.
But I forgot the words.
I have the card. You forgot the words?
Yeah, some of the words were not, you know.
Oh, that's okay. It's just the energy. I mean, I don't know. I know a little bit of Greek. My father was Greek, yes. But I could just feel how happy you were singing.
It was the last minute. Like I wasn't prepared to sing.
Well, they didn't think the last honoree would be so late in the traffic. So
I know.
It was magnificent.
It was something on the spur of the moment.
Thank you.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Demetria, for bringing me. You want to synopsize about the event?
Yay! Zito Elas!
Sakura means, not exactly, it's the accent that is different, but sakonome is when I fight with someone in Greek.
Somebody said to argue.
Argue.
So sometimes that's how you arrive
argue
at something of a better...
with someone.
Yeah. And I heard it's from the Peloponnese.
Peloponnese,
yeah.
You're Greek? Are you Greek?
My father is.
From what part?
He just died, I'm afraid. He was, He was from Athens, but I hear the name Sakuna comes from the Peloponnese.
Yes.
Where's your family from?
I was born in Salonika.
Oh, Thessaloniki.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I lived in Montreal 21 years, and I came here, and I'm here since 1980.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. He looks like Yanis, but he's not singing, he's drawing. Isn't that funny?
Yanis? Is he going to have a show?
Oh, we'll find out. Get him on Gotham Gossip. So here farther down the rabbit hole, we were talking about the Greek event. It was the comptroller, John Liu, and he's talking about how Chinese and Greek culture are coming together. And it was in the wonderful historical surrogate court, right, on 31 Chambers Street. And I had a wonderful time, and as you can tell, I was particularly moved by the last song that she was sort of a pinch hitter. So I want to thank my dear friend Demetria for calling this to my attention, and that we can work on, you know, better Hellenic and Israeli and Turkish and Italian and German and American and Chinese and Japanese relations. So, thanks.
Chinese, yeah.
Chinese, yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Chinese and Greeks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I fixed it about 15 years ago.
And you're off to another art opening?
Oh, please. You know, I started my day rushing to go see Zahi Hawass.
Oh, tell people what Zahi Hawass, who he is.
Zahi Hawass is the prime director of all the antiquities in Egypt. He's responsible for every single mummy. It's true.
Not the dead, just the mummies.
And the replica of the mummy of King Tut was there today.
Right. We would have liked to have been there because of our interest in John West and redating the Sphinx.
Yeah.
I saw Zahi when I was in Egypt a couple of times, sitting with, you know, he and John would sit around and laugh, and even though on camera they are sort of arch enemies with their different theories.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to sort of synopsize the theory?
John West's theory is that the Sphinx was weathered by rain, so thus showing that it was a temperate climate in Egypt, and it wasn't man-made. The carvings around the Sphinx came from the weather. And Zahi Hawass believed that the Egyptians themselves were the creators of everything.
Well, I think it's just that it's much older than we thought.
Oh, it's much older, right?
Yeah.
Right. Temperate zone.
Over and out. Also we met in Egypt.
Yes, Paula and I met in Egypt in a temple.
Here we are, home sweet home. I've got a public access community affairs channel, and I saw you sitting here after Obama was here, and you had a camera. So, are you an art student?
I am, yeah.
And so, what happened today?
Obama came, spoke at the school. I was up in my studio while that
What's that mean, up in your studio?
Just working.
And what are you working on?
Some photographs.
Oh, you're a photographer?
Yes.
Hi there. Leftovers. Were you at the speech?
Yes, I was.
Can you speak about it? What he said?
No, I'd rather not. Thank
no?
you.
Who can?
It was wonderful.
It was wonderful.
Who are you?
Public Access, a daily TV show on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. I guess you don't want to be seen, but I want to find out what happened. How would I do that?
That's all you are. Shut up, make me shut up, punk. You little twerp.
Do you know what happened?
No. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not or any of your Tea Party scum. All right, well, we're not afraid of your communists. Yes, you are. You're afraid of me. You're obviously afraid of me. You're afraid of one post of Jacob R. and one red flag. You are afraid. You are.
Were you at the speech?
Because America owes
Could you talk about what happened?
$1 trillion, whether you like it or not.
Who can?
Many people.
Many people? Anybody want to talk about what happened for Public Access, Manhattan Neighborhood Network? Were you at the speech?
Follow me this way.
Nobody wants to talk? What did he say?
Come right along, young man.
Anybody? It's public access.
What if it's better live?
Excuse me? You didn't see the speech?
So many tickets.
Oh.
The man with the red
red flag was yelling at the man in dreadlocks and saying, "You're a Glenn Beck wannabe."
You mean during Obama's speech?
Oh, no. No, this just happened about 3 minutes ago.
No, but does anybody know what Obama said? That's what I'm trying to find.
Oh, no, I wasn't in there.
And nobody did? Oh, they said ask these students over here. Are you just students at Cooper Union?
Knows. Yes, but we CNN definitely knows.
Oh, I know, but I mean, we're trying to get this as public access community affairs TV.
We were not allowed in.
You weren't allowed? So you're just Cooper Union students?
Correct.
So you hang out here any day anyway?
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Today's a good day. Did Obama leave already? Oh, yes. No, listen.
This is a Chicago bank heist. That's what this is. This is a jobs stimulus bill for Chicago. This is a job.
I don't think he knows either. I bet you anything he wasn't in it. Were you there at the speech? Oh, what did you hear?
I just heard on the radio. I heard part.
You heard on the radio. Is there anybody here that heard it that could talk about what he said? Nobody.
Press. That's the reporters. They were probably inside.
I think so.
Yeah.
In disguise.
Anyway, this is Paula Gloria farther down the rabbit hole, and I'm here at Cooper Union having my hair blow dried and my makeup being put on. I'm waiting until Carol Jensen of Hair on 3rd, which is 90 East 3rd, we're all about supporting local business, is going to work on me so we can see what the before and after's like. I was hoping that we would get some provocative conversation about what Obama says, because we're here at Cooper Union, and Peter Cooper is the philanthropist and entrepreneur who donated all of this, and he made education available to the artists. So you saw that we saw a lot of art students who happen to be here every day anyway. However, they weren't invited to listen to what Obama said. So Abraham Lincoln himself spoke here. It's a very historical and important area in Manhattan and in the world. And I'm trying to find out what Obama said. Excuse me, were you at the talk? Do you know what he said?
I'm with ABC News. I can't.
Nobody can say?
I can't comment.
Nobody can comment. I can't find one person that said what he said. Tell me. Excuse me, did you hear? Were you in there, and can you say what he said? Just.
Who are you?
I'm Public Access TV, Manhattan Neighborhood Network. I come on at 12 noon every day on the Community Affairs channel. Okay. And I like Cooper Union because this is where Abraham Lincoln spoke. So I thought it was kind of historical.
Yeah.
Were you there?
It's a great place. Yes, I was.
What did he say?
He said. Now you're asking me a hard question. What he said.
Oh, just what are you taking away?
I think he said he tried to make it clear to Wall Street that it was essential for the federal government to change the rules under which they operate when it comes to their financial services industry. They have to stop the risky loans.
You mean like the Goldman Sachs kind of stuff that happened?
Exactly.
I see. Do you live in Manhattan?
No, I live in New Jersey.
In New Jersey. But you're familiar with the problems, right?
I'm very familiar.
Like in Manhattan, we have co-ops where people don't even really own, they think they're owning an apartment and they own shares. And so the kind of malfeasance that goes on can happen there too. Do they have that in New Jersey?
Yes. As long as there are owners who are unscrupulous, unethical, you're going to have unethical behavior and you're going to have people being hurt by it.
Well, what do you think is the solution?
What's that?
What do you think is the solution?
I think it's
because you're talking about a human nature problem.
It's partly human nature and it's partly political. I think people who are concerned about changing public policy need to, most of the time, band together and exercise political power. It's all about people being abused by people who have more power than them.
Well, I'm interested in Marshall Rosenberg's nonviolent communication technique, so you can have power with instead of power over.
That's always good.
That if the disempowered could express their needs, those with power would realize it'd be a more fun game if everybody was included.
Yes, I think that's right. Martin Luther King is in that tradition as well.
And you want to identify yourself and your profession, what you're interested in? You seem very, well, first of all, I really appreciate you talking to me because nobody would talk.
Here.
Either the students didn't know or...
Here, this is who I am, because I have a new book coming out. All the publicity I can get for that, you can keep that.
Okay, so I can find out you're John Atlas. Seeds of Change.
It's about the community organizing group Acorn.
Great. I'll be in touch with you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good luck.
So we'll see if how forthcoming Acorn is about some of the abuses that were going on and some of the fundamental changes that need to be made. I happen to think that it really boils down to access to the resources, and if the masses can get greater access to the resources, whether you're looking at a binary economic model like Robert Ashford or Norman Kurland, who were proteges of Louis Kelso, who developed what eventually was bastardized as the leverage buyout, but was originally designed to be something to allow the worker to have ownership of the business that he was participating in, so that corporate credit could be extended to any human being, any citizen in the country. And that way you could get people off of welfare. So if you're extending a loan just for a mortgage on a house, but you don't have a plan for how you're going to pay that mortgage, it's not going to work. So you've got the binary economic model, and then you've got the model that was put forth by Henry George, which indicates that rent goes up when wages and interest goes down. So that if you're going after, I think it's a little bit, my personal opinion, I haven't looked into this too much, but I think it's a little bit superficial to blame a casino, because that's essentially what Wall Street is. When stock is sold, it's not sold in order to get the capital that you need to expand the business. And therefore Henry George said that when rent goes up, in other words, those who have access to the resources charge more and more and more, then wages goes down and capital and interest goes down also. So it's not like you have a limited pool of capital and therefore it's a struggle between the capitalists and the workers. Actually, both the capitalists who have capital get less money for their capital because the interest is going down, and those who have who live by wages, their wages will go down as everybody scrambles to get ahead. You know, someone's going to win the race, but not everybody can win the race. And so when people need access to the resources, it's really the rent. So you have to keep an eye on who owns the property. This is Paula Gloria. Stand by for my transformation when my hair is blown dry and my makeup is put on.
That one little thing turns into like...
My name is Bonnie McLaughlin. I'm an NYU student right now. I'm a junior. I'm here today with my mom to support her. And this is Lisa McLaughlin.
Hi.
Thanks.
Hello, America.
So tell me about your sign.
Okay. That I've worked so hard on. I've been a real estate broker for over 30 years on Long Island, and besides the fact that I'm opposed to the cap and trade bill on the basis that it's based on junk science and that global warming is not accurate.
What is cap and trade, first of all, for people who don't know?
Okay, cap and trade is a bill that has passed the House, but it has not passed the Senate yet, and it will impose taxes on industries based on their carbon output. And according to President Obama, before he was elected, this legislation will necessarily skyrocket all of our utility costs.
So how
force them to necessarily
But what does that have to do with real estate?
Well,
you're just a realtor?
Yes, within the bill there is a requirement that forces American homeowners to obtain a license from the government in order to sell their property. That license requires the homeowner to upgrade their home to have energy efficient windows, energy efficient hot water heater, okay, and Energy Star appliances, and the average cost to the average homeowner for these upgrades is $6,800.
Now, most people in Manhattan, as you know, don't own their apartments really. Even co-ops isn't a real ownership. So,
I mean, I don't think it affects Manhattan residents as much as it does to people who own their homes, who pay their taxes, who have invested in properties and think about those as a purchase that they've made, as something for the future. And now it's questioned, it's compromised, it's difficult. My parents have owned their house for 20 years. It's not up to energy standards, it's not. It's an old house. It was built in 1905. It's a very old home.
Wow.
And we've hit a lot of financial burdens with the economy, so they're moving. They're selling my childhood house.
Just because of this?
No, well,
this makes it harder.
This makes
it much harder.
They're selling because of the taxes.
And New York in general. I don't know that I can take New York.
So now, being an NYU student, people are probably all pro-green, so that must be very frustrating to you.
And I'm pro-green too, actually. I'm really environmentally conscious. I was just sent on a research trip, an environmental awareness research trip to Athens, here with the school.
Really? Athens, Greece?
And I really do believe that our society should recycle. I believe that,
I've been recycling since 1972 when I joined the Environmental Action Committee at Oyster Bay High School.
To tell you the truth, I don't believe in recycling, but that's a whole nother topic.
I just don't want the government telling me whether I should or shouldn't. I want to make the decision. I don't want them telling me that I have to.
But I could see you're very emotional about the house.
I am.
And I think that's something all Manhattan people should know about, because I thought I owned my apartment too. I have a co-op. I found out the hard way I don't own my apartment.
But it might apply to the corporation that owns the entire complex or building. That if they wanted to transfer title on the entire building.
You know something, I see where you're going and I agree with you, but my experience has been that the co-ops use more pad-on opportunities. Like the more they can spend, the more they can mark it up and the more they can take mortgages out that aren't necessary. That's why I'm paying $1,000 a month almost for 322 square feet for maintenance. Supposedly I own it. Wow, I know. That's why I love out-of-towners. I love out-of-towners.
Well, I know we have co-ops near us, and the top of the harbor, I think the monthly maintenance is $900.
It's up there.
900 something, and there's no tennis court, there's no swimming pool, but because the property taxes, because our school taxes are through the roof, okay, that's why their monthly maintenance fees are so high.
I don't know. I may be filing in the Supreme Court for, corporate mismanagement.
Well, good luck to you. That will be fun.
Really? Whoa, well thanks for the energy. It'll be interesting, I know. I may be the Pharmakos, but somebody has to step up and do things. Yeah. So get back to your colleagues in college.
Yeah.
So do many of your peers understand this?
No. No, they don't.
Because
they don't at all.
But it's happening all over.
We don't have cable television, so they don't watch the news. They didn't even know Obama would be here today. They don't know about any of these bills. If I said any terms to them, they wouldn't know.
Because this is going to affect all of America.
I know, especially our generation. Especially, I'm 20 years old. I'm 20 years old, and I voted for the first time.
Watch out, honey.
Oh, sorry.
I think one thing that, this is a friend of mine from our little town, 8,000 people on the North Shore of Long Island. It used to be mostly Republican. I think it's gotten predominantly liberal now. But,
you think that really makes a difference?
Yes.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
It does in the local elections. Because the local elections, it's really when you vote at home in the small elections, that's where you can make the change.
But like this cap and trade, is a Republican or a Democrat more likely to see through the global warming scam? Because I've done shows showing that the science is false.
Most Republicans know it's junk.
But But everybody should.
You don't think most? Lindsey Graham doesn't see through it.
Don't you think science should stand on its own? It shouldn't be partisan. Science shouldn't be partisan.
Yes, but it's been corrupted by the UN.
Do you know that the United Nations is the reason marijuana is illegal and high concentrations cures cancer? It turns out it was never a law passed by the United States.
Well, they try and claim the Commerce Clause, but...
So you're aware of these. So I take it you really
support the legalization of marijuana.
Yeah, yeah.
I would consider myself a libertarian.
A libertarian. Do you know that Carl Pearson is running for Attorney General on the libertarian ticket?
Carl Pearson.
Carl Pearson. Keep an eye open for Carl. He's got some good...
You can't register as a libertarian in New York State.
Oh, you can't? Is that a pity?
And they kept libertarian off the ballot in Suffolk County. I forget.
What are most of your friends?
Most of my friends are very liberal, like incredibly liberal. I'm not, you know, politically I don't really subscribe to any group or say that, you know, I'm not really like a protester type of person.
How did you get to Athens, Greece? I mean, that's a long trip for a young lady.
It was great though. I was selected to be in this Dean's Research travel group, so my good grades. Mom always taught me to get good grades.
Yeah, I can see your mom's a researcher.
Yeah, and I do support environmental awareness. I do think it is important. So they sent us a group of like 30 people over to Athens to conduct research projects. I was working on recycled art, like making art out of found materials because I'm an art major. And it was just an amazing experience.
Now you're an art major, but you have nothing to do with Cooper Union, right?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Paula. Today, President Obama was down at Cooper Union giving a very brief speech. Many people waited for hours and hours, and we just saw him drive by very briefly in the presidential limousine. But I wanted to remind everybody that we were hoping President Obama would step out on the balcony of Cooper Union because that's where President Lincoln became a national figure.
Oh, did he step out on the balcony?
Yes, he did, and he was to speak at Plymouth Church in Brooklyn Heights. But the waters were choppy and the ferry couldn't make it across. So he became a national figure on the balcony of Cooper Union. And he brought his top hat here in the neighborhood.
Really?
This was the hat district where they were manufactured in the 1800s and the 20th century.
So Wendy,
about 1920.
So Wendy, when did you start the Village Scandal, a local business hat shop?
1994.
In 94. Wow.
Yes.
Can we see that top hat? Is it anywhere around?
Well, we have a Mad Hatter. It's very close to it.
But this, so this is the one that Lincoln
bought his stovepipe hat in the neighborhood, similar to this, which is called a Mad Hatter now.
Oh, great.
And before that, he was just considered a kind of a hick from Illinois, and no one knew who he was.
So that hat made him?
Yes. And I noticed that President Obama loves to speak at Cooper Union. He spoke there several times during his, when he was running for election, and he comes there quite often. So I'm hoping he'll come in the neighborhood, and maybe McSorley's would love to serve him a beer, where President Lincoln had an ale. McSorley's had just opened then.
And next time he'll wave from the balcony.
Wave from the balcony, and we'll give him a hat.
Okay. Thanks, Wendy.
Yes. Thank you, Paula.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
I'm going to go in the mirror. So this is Paula Gloria, over and out, coming to you from the Village Scandal. Bye.